You know, for decades, the global tech story pretty much followed the same script. But right now, something fundamental is changing. And a huge part of that change is happening in India. We're not just talking about a simple upgrade here. We're talking about a country completely rewriting its role in the digital world. So how are they doing it? Let's get into it.
Think about it. For the longest time, India was the world's tech support, its back office. The old role was all about maintaining and implementing systems that were designed somewhere else, and doing it as cheaply as possible. But that era? It's over. The new role is completely different. It's about being a sovereign architect, actually designing the technology, creating the intelligence, and owning the digital foundations of its future. It's a massive shift from just being a user of tech to a creator of it.
So, what's the big idea driving this incredible change? Well, it all comes down to one core concept: Atmanirbharta. It means self-reliance. And listen, this isn't just some government policy or a buzzword. It's a national philosophy. It's the core idea that says India isn't just going to play in the global tech game anymore, it's going to build the game itself on its own terms.
Okay, so this whole strategy rests on a few key pillars. Let's start with the first one: democratizing intelligence. The whole point here is to tackle a massive problem that affects the entire world: the compute divide. It's about making sure the incredible power of AI isn't just for a select few, but for everyone.
I mean, really think about this question. To build the kind of powerful AI we're all talking about, you need a staggering amount of computing power. And that has always cost a fortune. That high cost basically put up a huge gate, and only a few giant corporations and rich countries had the key. They were the only ones who could afford to shape our AI future.
So, how is India tackling this? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. If you were on the international market, you might pay around $2.50 an hour for this kind of computing power. But through its national AI mission, India has just slashed that price. They brought it down to a subsidized rate of just 65 rupees. That's less than $1.
And that number right there, 65 rupees, that is the whole game changer. This isn't just a discount, okay? It's a total disruption of the old model. By basically turning high-end computing into a public utility, India is changing the rules of the game. It's no longer about who has the deepest pockets to rent servers. Now it's about who has the best ideas.
And this quote from their official framework really spells out the thinking behind that number. It makes it crystal clear. AI should be a tool that helps everybody, every single citizen. When you tear down those financial walls, innovation can suddenly come from anywhere, from anyone.
Okay, let's move on to the second pillar. And believe me, this one is just as ambitious. We're talking about forging silicon sovereignty. And this isn't just about building a few factories. It's being framed as a form of digital decolonization, a must-do strategy to control the literal building blocks of our digital world.
You've probably heard this phrase before, but it has never been more true. Silicon is the new oil. In our century, controlling the supply of semiconductors, of computer chips, is an issue of national security. It's about economic freedom. If you can't make your own chips, you're just as vulnerable as a country that can't produce its own energy.
So to get that control, you really have to master the entire process. You can break it down into 3 big steps. First, there's design. That's the blueprint, the brains of the whole operation. Then there's fabrication. These are the massive, unbelievably complex factories that actually make the chips. And finally, packaging, which gets them ready for the real world. And India is diving into all 3. And this isn't just talk. The scale of this is huge. We're seeing huge projects get off the ground. The Tata Group is partnering with Taiwan's PSMC for a major fabrication plant. The US company Micron is building a massive packaging facility. And what's really cool is that they're also developing their own indigenous processors, like Shakti. This shows they're not just assembling other people's parts. They're building the entire ecosystem, right there at home. All right, so we've covered the computing power and the physical chips. Pillar 3 is all about the software, about the culture. It's about creating an AI that genuinely understands India, an intelligence that works for 1.4 billion people and all their incredible diversity.
And this question gets to a really serious problem with AI today. Most of the big AI models you hear about were trained on data from the Western, English-speaking world. So what happens when this powerful new intelligence doesn't get the culture, the context, or the hundreds of languages spoken by most of the planet? Well, you get technology that's biased, that doesn't work right, and that's just plain culturally clueless.
So India's answer is to go all in on building its own sovereign large language models. And they're attacking this from all sides. You have government projects like Bharat Gen, which covers 22 official languages. You have Bhashini, which is this amazing public platform for translation. And you've got private companies creating super efficient models too. But here's the most important part. These aren't just English models with a translation layer slapped on top. No, they're being built from the ground up, using Indian data for Indian context.
So why is this so important? Well, just look at this number. 490 million. That's roughly the number of people in India's informal workforce. For many of them, text-based technology is a real barrier. But an AI that speaks their local language, an AI you can just talk to? Wow, that just dissolves the barrier. It can connect them to banking, farming advice, healthcare, everything. It's absolutely revolutionary.
So when you put all of these pieces together, the cheap compute, the homegrown chips, the culturally aware AI, what do you have? You get a totally unique strategy for technology. And it might just be a blueprint for the rest of the world. It's a model that's frugal, deeply inclusive, and fiercely sovereign.
There's a really great way to summarize this philosophy, and it's called the DSS blueprint. Design in India, solve for India, and then scale for the world. It's this brilliant approach that takes a country's own specific challenges and turns them into opportunities to build solutions that can help everyone. So let's just break down the key ingredients of this model one last time. First, it's frugal. It proves you can do amazing high-tech things without needing those insane Silicon Valley budgets. It's inclusive, meaning it's designed from day one to work for the last citizen in line, not just the tech elites. It's sovereign, which is all about being in the driver's seat of your own digital destiny. And it's built for population scale. And think about it. If you can build something that works for over 1 billion people, chances are it can be adapted to work for billions more around the globe.
And all of this leaves us with one final big question to think about. By turning inward to build its own technology from the ground up, is India actually creating a brand new, more equitable model for everyone else? Could this be the playbook that empowers so many other nations to build their own digital futures on their own terms? It's a leap that could seriously change the direction of technology for the whole world.